From the beginning, maybe I might have changed, but nothing so cruel. When I got at my highest weight and I look like that. hmm Now, some say, well, you're not that fat. You're not that obese. Well, I thought so. I thought so, girl. But, you know, um, I've been through some changes. Yay. And a bicycle, a swimming pool helped me get out of that body, right? And a little bit of bariatric surgery because it only worked for 3 fucking months, right? That's all. 3 fucking months. Paid $10,000 and plus, right? Yeah. I was a little bit pissed because the medical wizard sure bamboozled me. Yeah, they got their money's worth. Let's see. That's not some good numbers for you, honey, right? I at least wanted to get the milking of the bariatric surgery a couple more months, right? Now, I had a friend, my bestie girl. She was having a revision from lap band because she had a regain. She had lost 50 pounds of 100 pounds she needed to lose, and she gained it all back. She got Barrett's esophagus, turns out, from throwing up and, oh, whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah, it damaged her esophagus, right? Yeah, same thing I have now, a damaged, dilated esophagus. Because my lap band's been unfilled since 2016. And this morning I got stuck on eggs. Yeah, unfilled. There's nothing in my band, but I still get stuck. I can't eat in the morning. I can feel it right here. And my stomach starts gurgling because if I eat too fast or if I don't chew my food. Now, if I eat a slide of food, it'll go right down. But I had some eggs and some turkey bacon. Because I'm not fasting today, and it's not a nomad today, because you see it outside. Can you see it? Well, you can't see it because it's an overcast. So, yeah. So, I had some big titties, and I had a big ass. So, I sit between 150 pounds, 155 pounds, and if I don't poop, if my... Sorry, TMI, but you can store up to 30 pounds of waste in your colon, right? And that stuff keeps circulating, and you wind up gaining weight, right? And it gets toxic in there, right? Starts to ferment. So I eventually lost, well, I got to my lowest 147 pounds. That was my body, and that's not, and I'm going to link a bikini shot. That's not photoshopped either. And I never had no plastic surgery, no liposuction, no cool water, whatever you call it. That's all diet and the old-fashioned exercise, right? You name it, I did it. Now, when I was 147, I was a little bit gaunt. Yeah, my face is still kind of like, I got like a wax candle. Yeah. But, hey, I'm going to be 60 years old. Can't do nothing about that. No siree. But I was living my best life right there. That's my lowest. But as you can see, I was a spin girl. First, I exercised in the pool because with those legs, I was a hurting girl. Hurting. They were stubby and they were fat. So I had to get in the pool. and swim, 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 swim. Then I got on the bike and I did spin in the gym, right? Joined spin class. First time I did a spin class, I thought I'd never be able to do it. But guess what? 9-scale victory. I became a spin instructor for Mad Dog Athletics. 9-scale victory. Yay. I became a spin instructor in January of 2018. Yeah, I got my certificate from Mad Dog Athletics. And it was kind of hard. It was kind of hard because you got to know all these kind of things, about spin class. You got to know the rules and the regulations, and you got to go through classes, and you got to put a program together, and then you got to do a test, a written test, and you have to have a manual test of teaching a spin class. Yeah, that was pretty, that was pretty hard. That was pretty hard, but I did it, and yeah, and there's a young gal spinning. Keep spinning, you can have a body like that. She's about 22. Yeah. I was 58. No, 57. 57. What am I saying? I'm 58 now. I'm going to be 59 in December. So, yeah, I mean, I was pretty proud of that. My certificate is, I don't know where my certificate is. I got to print it out. But, yeah, Mad Dog Athletics. Spin. There you go. Spinning. So, yeah, so I want to show you now. I have, let's see, these were my first pair of spin shoes, and they're too small. They're cleats. And they go to my road bike. They go to my road bike right back here. That's my first road bike, Cannondale. Cannondale CAD. I got that in 2014, I think. Yeah. And so then, first time I wore these clip shoes on the bike, I fell over. Now, these are my second pair of clip-ons. Now, remember when you do use clip-ons, always get a bigger size because your feet are going to swell. Now, I usually wear a size women 9 medium because I have wide feet. And these are size 42. And then I have another pair. These. Shimano. And then these are my most recent pair. These ones, patent leather. Woo, patent leather. So, yeah. So, one thing about spin is you can, once you get used to it, you got to get used to your, they got these pads, the bike shorts, they got like this diaper. I don't like it, in the middle of the bike pant, so you can get whatever size. I have a lot of them. I have different, they call them bicycle kits, and they usually match, and here's one set. This is a summer top. And, of course, my 70.3 Ironman. September 2014. Yay. And, yeah. And then sometimes I wear the long pants. And then here's another pair. I never even put the tags off of these, but yeah, they have these gel pads in the middle, and it's makes you feel like you got a big old duty in your butt. See, so that's so you don't hurt your your vagina are your lowest lotus petals. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my spin bike that I got out of the trash. I mean, I could purchase one, but they're maybe a couple thousand. Actually, somebody on here has a Peloton. Woo! Now that's a high dollar ticket item, but Peloton is like the Rolls Royce. But yeah, and then back here, if you can see that, right back there, that little triangle thing, that's my trainer. So you put a bicycle on there, and then you just pedal for the wintertime when you can't go out. It's a terrible day today. It's overcast, and so I'm getting to have some green tea, and I did have some breakfast. So I thought I could go out to the garden, but no. So anyway, that's an on-scale victory, and try to swim, and try to get into a spin class. Riding a bike when you're at your highest, no sense of hurting your legs, because you're only going to hurt your joints when you're too heavy. Basically just walk, ride a bike, swim, or do the elliptical. The elliptical is good. But running is not good. Not as good, especially when you're this big. When you're like because I was bottom heavy. Now I don't know what's worse is having big, gigantic. My bestie girl, Donna, she was apple shaped, so she had all her weight above her waist. And when I remember that dog lady, what's her name? She has cancer now. What's her name? I forget her name. But anyway, dog's wife. She had these big, gigantic things, watermelons. You can't run on a track with no watermelons, and you can't even run in a track with a big Donkey Kong. So you got to wait till you get rid of all that stuff and then start training. The most important thing is what you eat. You can't run or can't exercise a bad diet. No, you can't. As a matter of fact, if you look at The Biggest Loser, you look at that data that they try to hide for so long. They try to hide that, right? Milk all that publicity and all that kind of stuff, and everybody was saying Julia Michaels. She still advocates for The Biggest Loser stuff when they already proved that all those people gained all their damn weight back. And then if you go on Dr. The 600-Pound Life, now if you analyze people, now I'm not shaming them because I analyze them. I like to analyze their eating because it gives the whole dynamics of the family and gives their backstory of obesity and stuff like that. Because some of those poor people, man, they really should go through some serious psychological counseling before they have their weight loss surgery, because they think that the gastric bypass is going to be a magic bullet for those people who weigh 600 pounds. Nope. Because actually some of them in the 600-pound life, that doctor now, gosh, he's a saint. He is a saint. And you know what? It's a shame because I think he's like 75 years old. And nobody else will do surgery on people that big. That's why a lot of people go to Mexico if they're over the BMI limit, because some of the, when you're over 500 pounds, nobody will take that medical risk, or they'll want you to lose 200 pounds before they'll operate on you, just for medical reasons, for liability. Because, a lot of times those people, after years and years of being obesity, they have what you call congestive heart failure, or they have lymphedema really bad. I mean, you see those people, they have those gigantic legs and they're oozing, and they got those big lobules hanging on. And usually have some kind of infection. They usually have sepsis. They go into sepsis because of those lobules get infected, and they get cellulitis. I've seen it. They try not to show it, but I see it because I had lymphedema from my injury on my triathlon when I pulled my groin, and that never goes away once you damage your lymphatic system. And that's weird because we have a lot of larger sized people in the weight loss community, but nobody ever mentions that they have lymphedema. And usually when your BMI is over 40 or 45, your lymphatics start to fail, but nobody mentions it. Nobody mentions it. So, yeah, and Doctor now, he says that there's only a 5%, what do you call it? Success, long-term success after 5 years with those larger people, because those 600-pound, 500-pound people, they can lose 100 pounds. I've seen them lose like 90 pounds a month. 90 pounds a month. It's unbelievable. And some of them, it's amazing. They're really gung-ho in the beginning, right? And then they go to see Dr. Nazarian, maybe like the second time. First they're gung-ho, but then the second time they're all angry because he puts them on a 1,200 calorie diet, zero carbs. Now he's saying zero carbs. No, he used to say low carb, but now he's saying zero carb. And I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but I hope these people get intensive emotional, mental therapy, because they need it through their whole journey and post-op. A lot of people, it's all, you can cut your stomach out. You can keep cutting your stomach out every 5 years. You can gain your weight back and cut your stomach out again. But you know what? Every time you cut your stomach out, you lose a lot of those beneficial microbes in your stomach, right? Now, I didn't have my stomach cut, but I lost some, I know. But I take probiotics twice a day, and I eat sometimes yogurt, kimchi, I eat sauerkraut. So I'm well aware of the different microbes that I have to put back in my gut. But those people, and that's why they wind up going cocoa for Cocoa Puffs after they have their bariatric surgery, because if you start with some mental illness, like if you have bipolar, or if you have schizophrenia, or even if you don't, depression, and that's why people can't understand why the depression gets worse or your mental illness, is because, number one, you can't eat. I say for the first 6 months, because your weight loss surgery procedure stops you, right? But you can eat all the slider foods, right? Slider foods will slide right through. Sugar, and carbs, mashed potatoes, bread will get stuck. Let's see. But the mental illness and the depression and whatever psychotic things that you've had in your past, your old haunts. And if you had issues with food, the food's away, and you don't have your coping mechanism is cut off. Maybe you lost your boyfriend or your husband because he was a feeder, or I heard of this one lady, and I almost died, where these guys, they have some kind of fetish. It's a fat fetish, where these 600-pound people, they get a side job and they make extra money, where I heard her say that they lay on top of people. It's called smothering or something like that. And the men, it's usually men, they like to be smothered by the obese person. And so the 600-pound lays on top of them and smothers them with all their fat, you know? It's like some kind of weird fetish, you know, because people got all kinds of weird fetishes out there. Yeah, especially those men. Now, I'm not anti-men, but it's usually the men. It's usually the men that have all those fetishes, you know? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm in a sassy mood today because it's overcast and I'm just sassy today. I'm just sassy, and because I can't get out, so I got to get on that treadmill and run out all this. I got some sassiness all inside me. I got to get it out somehow. So I figured I'd come in and talk to you, but I'm not busting on anybody. I'm really not. I'm not busting on. Just give you something to think about. Give you something to think about because I think about these kind of things. I think about these kind of things. The realization, it came to my mind. I had like an aha moment, and the angels came down from heaven, and I said, when I was really good in my first, I say 2.5 years. Yeah, 2.5 years, and then I went vegan, and then I was a special kind of good. But the angels came down and told me that they said, Annette, if you go back to your old ways of eating, like what got me to that girl, right? And it wasn't because I was eating healthy, and it was because I was exercising every day, because I was doing jack shit. Yeah, I was eating all kinds of sweets, and I was eating all kinds of breads, and I was like, yeah. And my husband was feeding me, right? Oh, yeah, because he's a skinny old scarecrow, right? He looks like a scarecrow, and he can eat all that garbage and potatoes and bread, the worst kind of bread, the most toxic kind of bread, right? The cheapest kind of bread, those potato rolls, he loves them, right? He eats sandwiches and the most unhealthy food that you can think of. Do you know how many months? Now, when I got healthy, when I had my surgery in September of 2012, I went on a 9-month surgical, nutritional, guided plan with the doctor supervised, right? Because I had to have my surgery in 6 months, but I had to stretch it out for 9 months. I don't know why I stretched it out, but I did. Who knows? But yeah. So, so he knows what I'm supposed to eat, right? He knows what is I told him was healthy, what I've been trying to teach him. And he works in a grocery store, right? He's been working in a grocery store for over 25 years. Do you know how long it took me to tell him or to try to get him to realize what GMO foods was, what organic foods, because back in 2012, they were trying to hide those foods, right? They were trying to hide the, what do you call that? All those pesticides that they put on the food, and why sugar was bad for you and why everybody's getting fat, because consumerism makes money, right? Fatness makes money. Obesity makes money, right? They're all getting rich on all us fatties, right? Because we don't know how to eat, we don't know how to exercise, and we don't know how to control our minds, right? Now, I'm not shaming anybody because I was guilty for 7 years. And then I woke up. My daughter says, Mom, you're getting so fat that you're going to have a heart attack or something. I didn't even look at myself in the mirror. I didn't see how fat I was. Can you believe I was out in the pool? Can you believe I was out in the pool in a bathing suit looking like that, right? Looking like that, right? My husband never said a word, right? Now, I didn't look like that when he met me in 2004. I didn't. Now here's my family. No. Now that's my daughter when she graduated from high school, my daughter Amber. She's a beautiful young woman. Gosh, she turned 33. 33. She got a little cute baby. She got a loving husband, and I'm so proud of her. And she got a beautiful career. And I pray the angels to her every day. Now that's my mom, right? My mom and my father's sister, Fifi, who practically raised me. See how little she was? She's only 4'11". Now believe me, this lady right here, she used to be obese, right? See this lady right here, Fifi? She went on Weight Watchers and she lost 100 pounds. Now she's only 4'11". All my father's family are short little people like that. They're not little people, but they're short Italians, right? And they eat a lot of noodles. Now this is my mom right here. See, she was 5'7". Now she didn't have Alzheimer's then, right? She was 5'7", and my brother was her firstborn, right? This is my brother Carmen. Now, he's handicapped. He was born mentally retarded. If you know anything about breech birth or 1940, what they did to him is she went into labor, and he was almost 11 pounds. And in those days, she had her baby in a clinic because they were poor, right? So my mom was 19 years old, and he was breech birth, right? So when he was born, they pulled him out with some forceps and they injured his brain. And what happened was he became hydrocephalus. He was born with water on the brain, right? Now they lied to my parents, right? They said, oh, he'll be okay. This is 1941, right? 1940, 1941. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. He wasn't okay. This is my mom, my brother, and my sister. I think she was about 3 years old. And I wouldn't say they're fat people, right? They're normal. Everybody was normal. If you look at the research, everybody was normal until 1980. Yep, 1980. And if you look, now there were some, outliers and stuff. But if you look at the statistics when obesity started to rise, 1980. And what happened in 1980? They changed that food pyramid, right? And they changed the low fat, and they put in all that sugar, right? All that sugar, and they told everybody to eat carbs, sugar, right? Carbs and sugar, right? And that's why the obesity exploded. Not to mention all those processed foods they started to push, and McDonald's and fast foods, and everything is a food frenzy, right? That's my sister, that's me, and my friend Tracy, right? Yeah, that's when they started pushing all that stuff, right? And everybody started getting fat, but they're happy, right? They are happy. Why are they happy? Because they're making money off of all these procedures, all these shakes, all these people who are obese, right? And the medical profession, and what they're selling, and the witch doctors, and all that kind of stuff, right? So when you're my age, you're in polypharmacy, right? And you're sick, and you may have cancer because, once you could become estrogen dominant. This is my husband and his girls. This was 1991. See? Doesn't he look like Elvis? Look how skinny he is. He hasn't changed a bit, except now his hair is gray, right? That's him. Look how skinny. Look how skinny. He's never been fat, ever, ever. Here he is right here. This is 1992. Right? This is when we got, look, here he is, here. Never been fat in his life, and he eats like a damn pig. He eats like a damn pig. But genetics and metabolism, right? We can go down the shore and he can drink beer and eat all that kind of stuff and eat and drink and eat and all this and eat packs of cookies and shit like that. Here, look at this. Here's all his brothers. You see any fat people in there? They're all handsome guys, right? One's a lawyer, one's a doctor. They're in their late 50s here, right? My husband, and he's the one in the middle. Mickey was the best man. Yeah. Actually, the one brother, he's 70. He still looks the same. No fatties. Oh, here's the family picture. Look. Look. See any fatties in there? Except me. I was the big old fat one. I was the only fat one in all those pictures, right? When I saw that, I went, ugh, that was so ugly. Oh, gosh. And it all happened within the 7 years. Seven freaking years I got to be obese, right? Here he is right here. Here's with I don't know what year this was. See? I'm not fat, but I sure got fat. And here's my mom right here. She's like a Lucy girl right here. She worked in a factory. Yeah, she worked in a factory. My parents weren't rich, but I was middle class. I was middle class. I'm trying to find that picture of my brother. But yeah, so he was a little retarded. Here's a picture of us, me as a bride. I wasn't that fat then. See? Not that fat. I was a little overweight there. But look, here's his family. My husband's family. That lady right there in the middle in the white, that was her birthday. She was almost 70 years old. 70 years old. I think she had a little nip tuck somewhere in her face. Oh, here's my brother. Now, this is my brother. That's when he hit his head in the violin training school. Yeah. So, anyway, I rattle on too much. But what I'm saying is that I wasn't always fat. And I don't want to be fat again. Here's some of his nieces and nephews. They're not fat. Nobody's fat in there. He has no fat people in his family. Here's my wedding party. I had a very small wedding. My daughter Amber, my best friend at the time Diana, and his brother Mickey. So yeah. So anyway, I rattle on enough. So see you next time.